Ah, there it is, beautiful Portland, Oregon. If only I could see it right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. Yes, surprise, it's me. Here with the very special Star Wars jacket that we are giving away today. We've got it here with you. Oh, there's my hair. It's already gone. It's Friday. Who cares? Hello. Yes, this is Digital Trends Live. We're live every weekday here, and this is something I know a bunch of you are tuning in right now to find out about, because this is the exclusive Columbia Star Wars, I believe it's from Empire. It's the crew jacket, the replica of the crew parka that the actual crew wore on Star Wars, and we've got it here in studio. Now, I'm wearing it right now. This is only the one time that it's going to be worn, and then after that, it could be you. So we are giving away this jacket today. Well, maybe not today, but I'm going to tell you how you can win it by going to digitaltrends.com/giveaways. I'm sorry if I'm sweating a lot. It is very hot. This is a very warm parka, I can tell you right now. So it is actually a replica of what the crew was wearing when they were filming Empire Strikes Back. So all those scenes for Hoth, behind the scenes, this is what they were wearing. So it not only comes in this, there's also a giant box, like an actual collector's edition box that you get to go along with it. And you know, it's worn by me once, so sorry about that. That's just happening. It's made from real tauntauns. Clearly you can tell that. And this thing is seriously amazing. So it's sold out online right now. There's a few select stores that you can actually pick these up in, but that's the only way you're going to get it, other than entering right now, digitaltrends.com/giveaways. Go there, enter in, and you can get a chance to win this. It is so hot, I can't do it any longer. All right, this thing is awesome. So enter right now for your chance to win that. Today, we've got an amazing show lined up for you. So I'm going to do this right now. We are doing, for the first time ever for our news segment, we're going to be having our co-host from New York join us. And today, we have Mr. Jeremy Kaplan, our editor-in-chief, who's going to hop on the show, talk about the news, talk about the headlines. Hello, Jeremy.
Greg, how are you? I can tell how you are. You're hot and sweaty.
I am so hot and sweaty right now. Yeah, it is. It's ridiculously warm in here, but you know what? That's the price we have to pay. Everybody's going to have to suffer through that today. How is it out there in New York?
It is cold, as it always is in the winter, and it's cold out in Portland in the winter, too. You should be doing the show from outside rather than in a warm studio.
We should have done that, actually. Maybe we'll try to set that up for the second half of the show. I'm sure the production crew will love that we can just run outside right now.
It'll be easy, no problem.
All right, well, let's run down. I'm going to run down for everybody who's tuning in live. So again, we are broadcasting live. We're on Facebook, Periscope, Twitch, and YouTube, which means we can see your comments and your questions as they come through. We've got a bunch that are coming in right now. I'm seeing here, made from 110% tauntaun wool, talking about the jacket. Joe says, wow, that jacket is impressive. Seriously, it is impressive. So you do want to win this jacket. I kind of want to win this jacket, but I'm pretty sure I can't. So you can go to digitaltrends.com/giveaways. And that is where you can enter to win that jacket. But coming up on today's show, we've got some really cool things that we're going to be doing. We've got Ryan Waniata, who's going to be hopping on a little bit to talk about the new Sennheiser wireless earbuds. So Sennheiser is getting into the game themselves, and these earbuds are pretty amazing. He's really high on them. So we've got him here in studio. We'll walk through everything about those. We'll give a little preview of what's coming up in between the streams, our entertainment show as well. We're going to talk about the new Avengers trailer, which is awesome. I am so excited for Avengers, so we're going to talk about that and maybe some Netflix news. Dude, it looks so good.
Hey, can I ask you one question about that jacket?
Yes.
Made with real tauntauns, so you know
made with real tauntauns, yeah.
What's the lining made of there?
So it's
kind of it's shiny?
Yeah, it's shiny. So I was taking a look at this, and it's actually like a really well-designed Columbia jacket. So it's this special lining that
of course, Columbia, they make great stuff.
Columbia makes amazing things. So they wanted it to be a replica of the actual crew jackets that they wore, but it's still a real Columbia jacket. So let's see,
oh, that's slick.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm taking a look here just at the actual specs on it. It's a bunch of very technical Columbia terms. Talking about how well they made this, Columbia stuff. So let's see, 200 grams.
Well, it's made of some technical materials, sure, and it's probably going to be super warm, and I bet it's insulated for the incredible conditions on Hoth. But what does it feel like? Does it feel like it's what's the texture like?
It feels pretty cool. It feels very smooth. It's really smooth on the inside. I just found what it is. So it's they used proprietary Omni-Heat fabrics, which increase warmth by reflecting body heat back at the wearer. So that must be the reflective part right there. so it reflects it back onto you.
You know, funny story, my pajamas are made of that same stuff.
Really? This Omni Heat stuff?
Oh, yeah. I wear all of that stuff. My underpants, everything is Omni Heat. It's just, that's what I do.
Perfect. There, see, in case anybody ever wondered, what does Jeremy Kaplan wear? It is Omni Heat. It's all Omni Heat. That's all he's wearing underneath. Full body.
Heard it here first.
So yeah, it's really cool. We've got all the details too at Digital Trends. You can go there and take a look if you want to learn more about the jacket. It's even got the patch on there. It's a really awesome jacket. Let's see. Also on today's show, so I talked about Ryan Waniata hopping on. We also are going to go live on location here in a little bit later on the show with Julian Chokkattu, who's going to be on location for a Xiaomi event. So Xiaomi is having some kind of event where they're going to be showing off a bunch of products. I think I was talking to Julian earlier. Even he's not entirely sure what all they're going to have there, but we're going to be live on location as he walks through an actual, I believe, media-only event, which means you're going to get the inside look at everything that goes on at these things, and I always love seeing behind the scenes of how these things happen. And so we're going to see what Julian sees as he sees it walking through the Xiaomi event. So that's happening later on. But we do have some news and headlines. We've got some tech talk. We've got some Read 'em and Weep segments to come up. And that is all here with Mr. Jeremy Kaplan, our editor-in-chief. So Jeremy, I'll start off. We usually start off, with one news segment before we get into our Read 'em and Weep segment. And we do have this. Yesterday, I kind of looked through what's trending as far as tech headlines. And the Game Awards is one of the top trending stories right now. So the Game Awards happened last night. If you don't know what the Game Awards are, this is the 5th annual version of this. So it's kind of become a pretty major awards event for the gaming industry in general. And they host, it's more of talking about the actual games themselves as far as design, voiceovers, who did the best in that. And it was all created by this Canadian journalist, Jeff Keighley, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. And so he just realized there weren't very many good gaming award shows. And so he just created one, which I think that side of it is really interesting to me.
Yeah, and this is the first year that it's really popped up to join the conversation on a very large scale, I think. I mean, we've had this is the 5th year, as you pointed out, but there hasn't been as much buzz about it. So it's good to see that awards for the gaming industry, which, let's face it, pours $1 jillion into the creation and promotion of these great experiences, is finally getting some better recognition.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a good point. I mean, some of these generate a lot more money than even like a blockbuster Hollywood film. Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't even know what the estimates are, but I'm sure it's in the billions that it's going to make just on that game alone. And they won a bunch of awards last night. Red Dead Redemption did. Yeah. God of War actually got the best overall game. And so they got Game of the Year and Best Game Direction for the new God of War. And then Red Dead won most of the rest of the major awards. Fortnite got a couple in there. Another big thing for the Game Awards too is they show off trailers of new games, of upcoming games. And we did get to see one for a Far Cry 5 spin-off called New Dawn. So Far Cry 5, which just came out this year, already getting a spin-off of it, which I found kind of interesting that they're already going for it. We've got to look at it right there. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's apparently plays in 4K as well. So that's going to be kind of an interesting thing when it comes to gaming, like seeing this transition to 4K gaming.
The whole Far Cry series has always been known for high-quality graphics, but those are just jaw-dropping. It's really stunning how far the developers and designers have pushed that stuff. And we're going to talk a little bit later on in the show about some ways that AI is being used for graphics in the future, which is a really interesting use of that technology. But,
it really is.
Wow, that is just some stunning footage there.
Yeah, I mean, and imagine, I can only imagine, watching it on a 4K screen too, with the actual 4K screening. I mean, it's pretty amazing what's going to be happening with gaming. And like you said, we're going to be talking about how AI is going to be potentially changing that as well a little bit later in the show. Before we get on to some more tech headlines, I suppose it is time we need to go through our Read 'em and Weep segment, where we take a look at the comments that do come through. So if you've ever wondered if we actually read the comments here at Digital Trends,
I'm weeping ahead of time.
Oh, what's that? Okay.
I was weeping ahead of time.
Oh, you were weeping ahead of time. Sorry. I knew that was that probably could happen. I actually haven't read these yet, so we're gonna go through the Read 'em and Weep. But what I was gonna say is, if you ever wonder if we here at Digital Trends actually read the comments, we have the editor-in-chief of Digital Trends right now reading your comments, responding in time as we go through these. So why don't we go ahead and pull up the first one? We've got from Will Rice, Pro Voice Guy. All right, at Digital Trends, Columbia's latest Star Wars jacket will you as warm as a Wookiee. Will probably will leave you as warm as a Wookiee. This would totally be on my Christmas list, but I live in Texas. If I was still in Buffalo, I would be ordering it now. I have to admit, probably in hot Texas weather, this would not work so well for you. If you worked in like a freezer or something like that, you know, maybe that would help.
I was under the impression that they wore jackets in Texas, but I haven't been there in a couple of months, so maybe things have changed.
They've banned jackets. Yep, it's a whole thing now in Texas. That, according to our pro voice guy, that is what's
a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's also being noted, talking about the jacket, in the live chat, Edward just suggested OmniHot should be the nickname for Jeremy now, so we might be working on that.
I like that.
Jeremy OmniHot
because the full body Omni Heat stuff.
The full body, it's pictured, just picture it, it's underneath there. That's what he's wearing at all times. All right, let's go on to our...
Nipples to nuts.
You could say that. Corey, Sarah Finchen, regarding Jean-Luc Picard Star Trek series to premiere in 2019, CBS says. I am very excited about this. It says, well, maybe one episode in December 2019. We haven't shot any of it yet. I did a couple of days on Discovery this season. They're close to a wrap on season 2. Wow. So we just got an insider commenting on that digital trend story.
I like that. We get the inside scoop there. Let's find out what happens, but we should dig into that reader and get some more insight.
Yeah, Corey, send us an email. I want to know more. Tell us, give us some more exclusives. That would be awesome. I'm really looking forward to that Star Trek series. Bringing Jean-Luc Picard back. I'm all on board for anything Patrick Stewart. All right, let's...
Although he's become kind of a weird character lately. If you followed what he's been up to, there's been a lot of... He's just a curious guy. We'll see what happens with that show.
Yeah, he's strange. And who's his buddy, Ian McKellen, right? Or am I saying his name wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Magneto. Him and Magneto are... they're following them, and their weird friendship is... I love doing that. There are different Instagram posts that they do. But yeah, he's a strange guy. I'm really curious to see how Jean-Luc Picard's going to be. Like, if he's just some weird, like, hermit in the new series or something like that, I'm all for it. All right, let's go on to our next Read 'em a Week comment. We've got Barry Hood, Bazi, regarding digital trends at Matt on Tech. Okay, so we're talking to Matt Smith here. The PS Classic will rip off your nostalgia glasses and break them over your face. Talking about that. Barry says, I was legitimately more excited for this one than the Nintendo ones, but I canceled my order once all the games were announced. Everything I've heard makes me think I had a lucky escape. I've been seeing a lot of comments about that, about the games that were actually chosen weren't the games that people wanted. Now, I didn't play a lot of PlayStation Classic. I think I knew like one person that had one, so I couldn't really speak to that, but I understand that people are not happy about it.
Yeah, and we just did a review, and it was not our favorite product of the year, let's just say. So I think Barry made a smart move there. Backing away slowly. Give him your money for the Nintendo stuff instead. Just
leave that one for where it is. All right, Barry, good move. Let's see our next one. We've got here for our Read 'em and Weep comments. We've got Mike J747 regarding Vizio 5.1.4 Atmos soundbar review. Quote, if you like what you see, so you're trying to sell us a soundbar on how it looks, not how it sounds. What a stupid sales pitch. They're not sales pitches. But I will say it's probably a Ryan Waniata review. I'm going to guess Ryan or Parker, one of those two. But we'll have Ryan in here in just a little bit. So maybe we'll have Ryan address that comment directly regarding the Atmos soundbar. I mean, I think appearance is a big part of when you're buying something like this because you're spending a lot of money. I want it to look good.
Consumer electronics have been transformed by design in the past couple of years. That was what made Apple popular. Sony's been huge in design. Samsung has become a giant force for design.
Yep.
And having something that looks unattractive, I don't know, I wouldn't buy an unattractive product, especially for a couple $100. They're going to spend some money. I want it to look good.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing for me. I mean, it's got to sound good and look good. And yeah, I mean, otherwise I don't want to spend my money on it.
Of course.
All right, so sorry, refuting that one there, but we'll have Ryan in. He can talk to you directly about that one in a little bit. Let's see, how many more do we have here? We've got two more of our Read 'em and Weep segment where we're going through this, and then we're going to get into some tech headlines. So we've got Scott Faber regarding China to launch the first mission to the far side of the moon. I'm betting that the same stuff that is on the front side of the moon is on the back side. Cheese. Scott, you win the cheesiest comment award for today. I'm not sure what else to say to that one.
All I want to add is if there's cheese on the backside, there's a problem.
Hey-oh. All right, that's where we need the sounder to clip in right there. So we'll work on that for the next time.
We need the hey-o. Hey-o.
Hey-o. All right, next comment. We've got our final one here for Read 'em and Weep. Then we're going to get to some news. We've got Michael Darlson regarding Netflix paid $100 million to keep Friends, but viewers may pay the highest price. Friends is the Nickelback of TV shows. I mean, that's kind of harsh, depending on, your thoughts on Nickelback, but I mean, in a way, you're kind of right on that one. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Friends?
I hold a spot in my heart for Friends. I loved watching it, and I have never once gone back and wanted to watch a single episode ever again. So I'm kind of with the reader on this one.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. $100 million for a show that ended, I don't know, 15 years ago? Seems like a bit of a reach when it comes to money. I mean, especially when you hear about Netflix having issues with profitability and some factors, just with how much they're extending out. $100 million for Friends. I bet it's got to be good if you were on that show.
They have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to run out at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But we'll be talking about that too on Between the Streams later on today, and that's live at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can tune in then, and we'll go into that more. All right, let's get to some more tech headlines. This next one is something that I've been excited about for a while, and Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, is always entertaining, at least when it comes to tech. He always seems to be pushing the envelope. Whether all of this stuff works out or not, we don't know. But this is one that he's been teasing that on December 18th. Actually, it was supposed to be earlier than that, but now it's December 18th. He is going to be showing off a test run of his boring tunnel. So the tunnel is his whole idea that he wants to revolutionize transit, especially in cities, and to get stuff off of the road. It'll be all in tunnels and run on autonomous pods, essentially. And that's what he's adding in, is that on this December 18th viewing event, he is also going to have some autonomous pods there per his tweet. Jeremy, what do you think about this?
Well, a couple points of note. He said street legal autonomous vehicles,
right?
Which is kind of a misnomer because to drive a car legally in this country, you need a driver and a license. So it's illegal to have these things at present, is my take. But unless there's certain regulations around a certain city, in general, it's not legal. But anyway, I think the concept of finally showing off the vehicles themselves is far more interesting than the actual tunnel. The other thing to note there, ground-to-tunnel car elevators. So the existence of the actual elevator and perhaps some mechanics, if we can actually demonstrate the vehicle driving in, getting lowered down into a tunnel, all of a sudden this goes from the concept stage to something that is far more realistic. Yeah. And that, to me, so I'm more excited than anything else about that elevator part.
Well, I think that's a really good point, because that's also something, once people actually see it, I think you'll probably get more of the general public actually excited about this as something that can really happen. And I mean, he's been digging tunnels, and I guess he's got one that's about 3 miles long. He just had one that was shut down. They were going to be building another test tunnel underneath a freeway in LA, and a neighborhood group, or a couple neighborhood groups, got that stopped due to environmental concerns. I mean, he's really doing this stuff. I mean, this is a possibility, and if he can really show this off and demonstrate it, I'm still a little skeptical of what's going to be shown, since it's already been pushed back a week. But I mean, he's kind of got to either, put up or shut up at this point, I would think.
Yeah, but and to not to belabor the point, but digging a tunnel, I wouldn't know how to go about doing that, but it's easy to conceive of what's going on, right? You get a big tunnel digging machine, they exist, you go bore a tunnel. Like, that part, okay. And I like the fact that Elon Musk is the kind of guy that just says, I'm going to do this, screw you guys, this is happening, and starts digging a tunnel. But, and we've already seen the cars that are relatively self-autonomous already. Level 3, I think, we want to get up to level 5. Maybe he's claiming they're going to hit level 5, which means more autonomy. But again, taking it to the next level and saying, here's the elevator that's going to take you down, and this is what it's going to actually look like when we start networking cities. Yeah. It's moving outside of just digging tunnels and what he had done before into a whole new phase. To me, it's going in, if he can show the stuff off, it really moves towards reality.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out soon. So December 18th is when that's happening, and supposedly that'll be available for the public to go also take a look at it. And we've got a whole write-up about this, multiple ones probably, at digitaltrends.com. I follow this pretty closely, so take a look there at digitaltrends.com and follow along, and we'll be talking about the boring tunnel as we get closer to it. Moving on in our news segments, let's talk about that AI that we were bringing up at the beginning. So this is actually... it's an Nvidia AI, and they revealed this at the Neural Information Processing Conference in Montreal, Canada. Just kind of showcase how powerful some.
I love that conference. I go every year. It's just the best.
Oh, you mean the Neural Information Processing Conference? Oh yeah, love it. Say that fast. So they were at that conference, and Nvidia's Vice President of Applied Deep Learning, which is Brian Catanzaro. Anyway, he showcased this, talking about some of their high-powered processors and the AI, and one of the things that they showed is how to render real-life footage into a digital space almost immediately. And we've got to taking a look there. So there's the actual videos on the left of your screen, and then the AI rendered video is the one on the other side. I mean, at this point, that is so close. Like, if you didn't show me the real one, and I just saw that briefly, you can still tell it's digital, but I mean, it's coming really close to looking real. And Jeremy, what do you
Yeah,
think about this?
it's a really fascinating. It's a fascinating project. So what they did was they went out and they mapped a bunch of city streets and fed this information into the computers, and the computer then generated a city map, but like not a real one. It's just one based on what city streets look like, and there's cars and there's trees and there's buildings. AI has so many different applications and such incredible potential on so many different levels. We're really just the beginning of this. And I think it's just unfortunate. Too many people think AI and they think, oh, Alexa, I can talk to my thing. And
Right.
There's just so much more going on than that. This is just the tip of the iceberg, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think it's going to be, referring to the gaming side that we did bring up earlier, this could revolutionize that if you could have a real world experience like that, or even taken away from that, imagine just for Google Maps, or some kind of a mapping system or education system, if you can really go in there and just have that rendered that quickly. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities on there with this kind of technology, and like you said, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of where AI is going, and it's not all Alexa, and it's not all the Terminator taking over. So there are more fun possibilities when it comes to it. So that's the Nvidia one, and you can check that out. Go ahead.
It also showcases the changing companies at the forefront of computing these days. Nvidia started out as a graphics cards company, remember, and they really moved into AI, and they moved into automotive as well. And this conference is just underscoring the incredible potential of some of the chips and the designers and the engineers and the smarts and the scientists over at that company. They do some great stuff.
And it's going to be with them too. I mean, they've had an increasing presence at CES. So this year at CES, it'll be really interesting to see what kind of things that they're showcasing when it comes down to that. I know we've got a few minutes left, so I want to get through to a couple. Actually, let's go straight to this story about Nest. Now, this I just took a look at this morning, and it's a story that came out in, I believe, the Arizona Republic, and it's talking about a Nest security camera. So I'll kind of give what the base story is so that everybody can be aware of that, and then we'll get into discussing this. So this gentleman's name is Andy Gregg, and by his account, he was in his backyard working on something, and he heard what sounded like a voice in his house. And he ran in thinking there might be an intruder, and then he realized the voice was coming from his Nest security camera. And it was a man speaking who said that he worked with Anonymous, and that he had hacked into his Nest security camera, and he was letting him know, he wasn't trying to do anything, but he was letting him know that his cameras were vulnerable to hacking. And he said, and then to prove it, he read off apparently several of his passwords that he actually uses, because he had those as well, and said these to him, and then apologized for scaring him, and then logged off. So if this actually happened, this kind of confirms, I think, everybody's nightmare when it comes to all of the smart home technology that we're dealing with. I think for a lot of people, it's everything's listening to me, people can hack in. And if this is true, it's kind of proving that, yeah, that is possible. Jeremy, I really want to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, so one of the problems here was, so the hacker got in through a password that had been stolen from another website. One of those big thefts or breaches of security, and the guy had been using the exact same password on a variety of places, which I can't say how disappointed I am that we have to keep saying this over and over again, but people of the world, change your passwords, for God's sakes. I mean, it's like, it's information that we all should just have at this point. Like, I don't need to tell you, store your food in a refrigerator rather than a cool, wet paper sack. Like, of course you put your food in a refrigerator. And somehow this guy had just been using the same password left and right. But to your point, yeah, the fact is, you can get into somebody's security camera using a password and hacking in, which is frankly terrifying. So to some extent, I think a lot of concerns that people have about privacy in the home are probably founded concerns. It's a legitimate thing. For example, we bought an Amazon Fire TV the other day. I installed it at home. Well, I brought it home and installed it. My wife took one look at it and said, "Why is that thing in front of the TV? You know that company spies on us." And I was like, "Well, they don't. Well, or actually, they probably do. You know, it's hard to argue against that. You know, they probably are looking at you." I think a lot of concerns that we all have around what's happening in the home, maybe some of them are somewhat unfounded. I think there's definitely a lot of truth into what's happening there. So we should all be a little bit more cautious and careful with our passwords at the same time.
Yeah, the password thing is a big issue. Like, I mean, if you have any doubts, just this story alone, but let alone the tons of other stories out there about passwords, change your password or use some kind of security system so you have a really complex password. It is important. They will get in, especially when we talk about how many different security breaches have been happening just lately. I mean, there was the Marriott one with 500 million, I think, passwords, potential usernames, anyway, that or potential information was stolen. Maybe not necessarily passwords, but I mean, just how much everything's getting hacked into. Can't stress it enough. Change your password. Change it. Use a different one.
Yeah. Change your password. And the solution to this problem is a simple one. Just change your password.
Yeah. If you take anything away...
Everyone is watching this weekend. Maybe it's a good time to go change your password.
If you take anything away from this episode of Digital Trends Live, change your password. And now I need to change my password now that I just said that. So, yeah, but this Nest story I think is really interesting. We'll see if there's any other stories like that come out. The other thing is, I haven't heard of this happening. Doesn't mean it's not happening elsewhere. But you can follow along digitaltrends.com and take a look at everything on there. And yeah, check out this guy's story and be a little bit more aware at least. Because the more our homes are incorporated, especially with this kind of technology, that smart home technology, it's happening. We're all going to have this stuff in our homes, and you do need to be aware of those issues. So that's one of the tales that came up at digitaltrends.com for the Nest story. So I know we've got Ryan Waniata that's coming in here in just a couple of minutes, and then we also have Julian Chokkattu. I want to remind everybody who's watching live that Julian is going to be on site at a Xiaomi event showing off some of their new products. Apparently they're not going to be at CES this year, so this is kind of their preview of what they've got coming out, which is really cool. It's exciting to see what they're going to have, and Julian's going to be there on site to talk about that. And I did say we are live, so we do want to hear your comments and your questions as they come through. Shout out to, let's see, we've got everybody's talking about the giveaway. So the giveaway, once again, if you are wanting to enter that, digitaltrends.com/giveaways. You can go there. I do have one final story that I've kind of been holding for the week that since we've got like 2 minutes, I figured we might as well bring it in. I mean, clearly breaking news tech. Soulja Boy. You're aware of Soulja Boy. Do you remember him? Superman? Apparently Soulja Boy is also a tech entrepreneur. And this story came out this week because he has a new gaming system that has come out, a handheld gaming system from Soulja Boy. I believe it's called Soulja Game, and it's available now for $99 that you can pick up. So I just want to make sure people know about that. Jeremy, will you be picking up the Soulja Game gaming system?
Well, it's got 3,000 games built in, so you know that they're all good, right? He didn't just pick as many as possible. He went out and cultivated the 3,000 best games that are available.
Right.
So you know that, I mean, because it's Soulja Boy also, a name that you can trust when it comes to gaming. You know that game number 2,987 is going to be just as good as game number 3.
He spent hours tirelessly going through that. Just to get an idea, too, in case you weren't aware, something to go into the weekend with. He also has other systems. So he's got his Soulja game console, he's got a Soulja watch, Soulja pods, and a Soulja phone. So you can also pick up, you get the whole catalog of products right there. So now you know, everybody. If you were looking for a Christmas present, clearly
that's great stuff. He's really building a whole lineup there of gaming products. That's because, again, that's what we know this guy for.
It is. He's the Superman of gaming right now. All right. I think that's about it. We need to go to a break. Jeremy, thank you so much for hopping in here today. This is our first go-around of the New York to Portland, going back and forth. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Our editor-in-chief, Mr. Jeremy Kaplan. Thanks, Jeremy. Oh, yeah, Omni Heat.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
I forgot. It's Omni Heat, according to the chat. That's the new nickname. All right, everyone tuning in. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break. We've got Ryan Waniata hopping in here to talk about the Sennheiser new earbuds from them, the wireless earbuds. They look really cool. They're very expensive, but we're going to get his take on all the tech behind it. We can take your comments, your questions, whatever you want to bring up with that. Drop those in there. We will discuss them. And thanks for tuning in. So let's take just a minute break while we change over the studio, get Ryan in here, and we'll be right back with more Digital Trends Live. Back with Digital Trends Live. Hello, everyone tuning in right now. Like we said, taking your comments and your questions. I'm seeing a lot that are coming through, referencing the Soulja Boy story we just had. Ryan, I'm not even going to tell you what it was, just we talked about Soulja Boy.
I did not realize how he spelled his name. That's how stupid I am. I really thought it was Soldier. I'm really up with the kids.
You really are,
and
yes.
the music. Yeah.
This is your go-to.
That's what I missed. That's what I missed. I listen to jazz radio.
The Soulja Boy. All right.
I'm just going to go now.
That's it. That was Ryan.
And I'm going to
Thanks, everybody. Okay. Right now, we are joined by Ryan Waniata to discuss the brand new Sennheiser earbuds, and he's got them here with us.
Yes.
So we got the review that is going to be coming up.
Yeah, soon.
Soon.
Yes.
There's going to be a written review, so you're getting to see this before the written reviews even.
That's true.
So you're getting the inside scoop here with Digital Trends Live.
Yeah.
And let's walk through what we're looking at
Yeah, I think the big headline is that these are a $300 pair of true wireless earbuds.
Coming straight out with that.
Yeah,
$300.
Yeah, they do look pretty premium. You can see they have the fabric case here, which I really like. Google did that with their Pixel Buds, but of course the Pixel Buds were not true wireless.
Yeah.
And this is a little nicer too. I think I said in the review, it looks like you could see it in James Bond's like coat pocket.
Yeah, yeah, it's classy looking.
It is classy looking, but really, I guess the headline is the price, but the reason for that is, as far as we're concerned, these are the best sounding true wireless earbuds on the market, at least that we've heard. They have pretty much...
Which is a bold statement, because I mean, there's a lot of other ones that are out there.
There aren't that many that we like.
Yeah.
It's a new technology, and I guess at first when they came out a couple of years ago, all we wanted was a pair that would stay connected via Bluetooth, that had a stereo image that would stay partitioned so that you could actually hear things in the right places, and it wouldn't warble back and forth. That was a big problem because they actually have to use this technology called near-field magnetic induction to go between your ears and through your brain.
Wait, it's actually...
That's what true wireless do. They actually go, one of them connects to your phone, and then it connects to the other one through your skull.
Wow, there's no worries.
So there's that.
Is that pretty much
it's actually a very hard technology, or was a very hard technology to get done. Of course, they've done a lot of proliferation since then. These things have moved fast as far as the technology. Yeah. So all we really wanted was them to work. And the AirPods are actually one of the first ones that actually worked well. These sort of jump off of that point and say, also, we have amazing sound. This is going to sound like a regular Sennheiser wireless headphone, and that is in itself quite the feat.
Yeah. Well, I want to take a look here.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the sound is better than the AirPods?
The sound is a lot better than the AirPods. It's pretty great sound for a wireless headphone.
I'm assuming this is probably as small as you're going to end up seeing with earbuds.
They do have them smaller, but the smaller ones often do not have any onboard controls. These are all touch controls. So you've got a series of taps to you hold it down to raise volume, hold it down on the other one to lower volume, and you can tap on the left side to like song skip and stuff like that. You can do a quick tap to call up your assistant on your phone. So if you want to go much smaller, you're not going to get any onboard controls most likely because there's just nowhere to put them.
I want to ask in the live chat too, since we are broadcasting live, if anybody does have wireless earbuds currently.
True wireless.
True wireless, yeah, and what ones that you use. You're like you said, the case is nice, so it's kind of magnetic, snaps in there.
Yeah.
For the charging. How long is the charge?
So that is these do a lot of things very well. They have transparency mode, which allows you to pipe in sound from the outside. They'll pause when you pull them out, just like the AirPods. They have the controls, the touch controls. The one thing that they don't do as premium is their battery life is 4 hours. That might sound low for wireless in general, but actually the AirPods are sort of the leaders, and they're at 5. Okay. So it's below the leader, and also their case only has 8 extra hours. So you get a total of 12. Okay. So that is a fair bit below the AirPods. That's the one place they don't really knock it out of the park, I guess.
Which you would think for $300 that would be kind of an important
You would hope
aspect.
So, but for us, I guess basically the sound is so good that, I think this is still going to be a viable, probably a really, actually, from what we've seen, they look pretty popular. They're already sold out on Sennheiser's
Really? Even
website,
at $300?
So, yeah. And the thing is, you just can't get very good sound from true wireless headphones from a lot that brands at this point.
Unless you're beaming it through.
Yeah, and there's some other ones that we like a lot too. Jabra has like a 65T.
Yeah.
That is a really great headphone, and they're cheaper. They're about $180, and they're waterproof as well. So those are great, but they don't quite match these ones in sound.
Actually, a pretty relevant question Vicky asked on Facebook is how well do they stay in your ears?
They stay very well in my ears. They have four
they
different.
do look kind of big.
They are a little bulky. They have 4 different ear tips that come with them, and they didn't like lock in quite into my inner ear, like into the circle there. But I never had any trouble with them. I could shake my head really hard, and they don't come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're
cool. Pretty light. So I think because they're so light, they easily stay.
They are light, yeah. And I suppose on camera they don't look that bulky, but I mean. Yeah, they are very light, so I could definitely see them. And you've tried these out and you've enjoyed them.
Yeah, they're great. They sound really good.
All right, well, that review is going to be coming up at some point, too, for the Sennheiser wireless earbuds. What is the name of those?
These are the Momentum True Wireless.
Momentum True Wireless.
Yes.
And True Wireless is kind of a key, that the True Wireless aspect.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is, for those who are wondering why we say True Wireless, is there's lots of wireless headphones, but they're connected by a band. And that makes it a lot easier.
I've got the Gear Circle.
It's a lot easier technology, and also you can usually load up some battery into that band. These guys have to have the battery on board, of course.
Yeah.
So, and they have to have an amplifier on board. So
that's a lot.
You may expect a lot from them, but it's actually a pretty tough technology to pack into a little bud, and that's why, you know, we're not saying like that everybody should just rush out and buy True Wireless. It's a very new technology.
Yeah.
It's really just if you want to be sort of a first adopter and you're really into it, you really want that kind of freedom, because they are great if you're out working on the lawn or something. There's just nothing to stop, you know, nothing to get in the way, which is really nice. But yeah, you're going to pay for it. But especially with these, you're going to pay for it.
You're probably going to be more of an audiophile. You have to be picking that up.
I think these are going to appeal to those who are looking for that Sennheiser sound, which, you know, people are willing to pay for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there it is. So this is Ryan Waniata talking about this here on the show. And I know we're about out of time because we're going to be going live here in just a second to New York. I do want to say this, coming up at noon Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern, we will have Between the Streams, which is our entertainment show.
Yes.
Ryan and I, where we go in depth with entertainment, and we talk about everything that's going on, which is mainly going to be Avengers 4.
There's a lot of things going on. The Avengers 4 trailer is kind of the headline, and I still have not yet seen it. It just came out this morning. Yeah,
it's great.
So I'll be watching that shortly.
There's lots to talk about on that. So that'll be coming up here later on today on our programming here for Digital Trends. But right now, we have an exclusive for you. We are going to be heading to New York, where Jeremy Chokkattu, or excuse me, Jeremy. We just had Jeremy Kaplan on earlier. Julian Chokkattu is out there. Is out there. Julian's out there right now at the Xiaomi event. Hello, Julian.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Xiaomi in New York City. If you haven't heard of Xiaomi, they are a Chinese company and they sell products, all sorts of products, all around the world. Things like toothbrushes to rice cookers to phones to wireless chargers, battery packs, all sorts of things. They have started selling some of their products in the US pretty recently, and we're going to go through some of them now, but also a lot of other products just to see what they have. So we're just going to start here with the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3, which is their flagship phone of this year, and it has this beautiful full screen design that you see a lot more other manufacturers sort of doing, but it has this neat trick. Basically, you don't really see that selfie camera, right? So what you can do is slide the phone down and it sort of automatically launches that camera, and it's a really neat trick that's sort of just, you know, pop it back up to hide it, and it helps hide the camera so that you can enable that full screen design. Really neat trick. This phone, technically, when you convert it, costs around $470. Pretty amazing for the sort of build quality and specs that you get. And this, sadly, none of their phones are available in the US, but it sort of definitely is a testament to the sheer variety and really cool tech that they have. For example, there's another phone over here, Xiaomi Mi 8 Pro, that has a in-glass fingerprint sensor, and in the US only one phone has that right now, a OnePlus 6T. Not really something that you can get pretty accessibly in the US, but this is cool tech that definitely will be making its way next year, I think, and Xiaomi is one of the other companies basically enabling that tech in their products right now around the world. So they have other phones as well, and sort of they also really do a good job of bringing a lot of this really cool tech into accessible prices. For example, the Pocophone F1 sort of made waves earlier this year for being a phone that has the same chipset that powers the Galaxy S9 for basically $270. It's not sold here again like many of the other phones. It's sold in India, so really, really powerful.